So yeah, again we'll talk about this need of bill of material. We discussed it last time, but again we'll just refresh on this. Why do we need bill of materials? We need bill of materials to understand the number of, say, we need to understand what are the fabrication parts, what are my put out parts, what are my hardware, etc. Right? And we need to understand what are items which are required to procured from outside, right? And based on their lead time or whatever thing. Okay, and to understand the weight, what is the total weight of the machine, or weight of the parts, different items which we are using in our system. Okay, basically a composition of machine. Say if I'm making a 25-ton machine, what is the composition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So now in SolidWorks we have three types of BOM. Okay, one we call is the top level BOM. Okay, so in top level BOM, we all know that we get the details of the first level parts or assemblies present in the first level of my main assembly. It could
Yes.
be whatever main assembly, that gives me the detail of my top level of the first level details. It could be parts, hardware, whatever available in my first level. Next is my parts only BOM. So parts only BOM is the combined detail, a mixed detail of parts, hardwares, BOP, everything. So it doesn't have the details of your assembly, sub-assemblies or anything, but it will have details of only of parts, all SolidWorks parts. So it could be part, it could be a hardware, it could be BOP, whatever it could be. It will be have only details of parts. Next we have the indented BOM in SolidWorks or PTR. So this indented BOM is basically a level detail of our SolidWorks items. So basically, it will have the hierarchy BOM. So first level, this is the sub-assembly, and this sub-assembly has this many sub-assembly, this sub-assembly has this many parts or bought out, whatever. So it's a combined list. Again, it's a level by level hierarchical BOM. Okay, so now, but what industries need, what we see in industry, what is the problem that we see? So now, although I get an indented BOM out of my SolidWorks, but that is not in a format which could be readily used. Okay, so this is what we see. So basically, why do I need to upload the bombs in my SAP or ERP system? So now, the design team needs to share this bill of material with the rest of the departments of the organization, right? So the sharing platform becomes one of the common platform which becomes is the SAP or the ERP system. Okay, so designer, what he does is he takes time. What he does, well, frequently what we see, they face a lot of issue in uploading or creating bomb. So there are normally two ways wherein they create bombs in the SAP system or ERP system. One is they type each and every part number and save it with details, respective details, with weight, everything. They type it everything manually. Second is what they do is they basically prepare some BOM in Excel out of our SolidWorks. They modify it. They completely make it compatible, which is uploaded, as you said, as Nagesh said. We get a exported form out of our EPDM, right? We get a CSV format, and but that CSV format is not in a ready to upload format. That has to be modified. That has to be restructured and made compatible to be uploaded in your SAP or ERP system. It is not ready in a ready to upload format. Okay, so now, so this is a problem. This is what we say. So basically, say if I'm handling 100 200 components, that is fine. That's a little easy task for me. But when I'm handling 4,000 component, 5,000 component, 10,000 component, so it becomes a tedious task. It may take long time. It may take 4 days, 5 days, 6 days just to prepare the complete bomb, right? So now this is a major concern what we see, right? So that's the way. Okay. Next, what we see is the chaos between the design, production, planning, purchase due to incomplete or wrong bombs. So now, when I'll create a bomb for 4,000, 5,000 components manually, so there are chances I'll do a mistake. There is a probability I'll do a mistake. I'll make a wrong entry. So say I'm making a bomb. I by mistake for instead of 11, I write it 1. So now I missed up 10 numbers, but it was just a clerical mistake, you could say. Instead of 11, I typed only 1. So now this mistake will not be identified at the same time. This bomb will go released, the production will start manufacturing, and at the time of assembly, they will realize there are 10 parts which are missing. And then it definitely becomes a chaos, a point of chaos. Who has given this bomb? This is a wrong bomb, right? So it completely creates a pretty much tense inside the organization because of a wrong bomb, and it eventually affects our delivery.
Yes.
Right, right.
Yes.
So this we see during assembly or the dispatch time. So this gives us a now next tedious task is my segregation parts. Segregation. So now so my production concern is only the manufacturing parts. My purchase concern is hardware BOP. So why do I need to share everything? So now what purchase does is he gets the complete bomb and he does the segregation by himself and then send it to the vendor for the purchase order or whatever thing in terms of the purchase part. But in terms of production again does the same way. They identify the manufacturing parts, they create their own list, they correlate with our drawings, and then start the production process. So now this again become a tedious task. These are small things, these are very small things, but it affects, actually it basically affects our time, production time, and complete manufacturing cycle. Segregation, when I say again, I'm talking about 4,000 component. If I need to segregate only the manufacturing parts, only BOP or only hardware, how much time it will take? Again, it's time which we are spending a lot of time. And again, when we do it manually, when we do this segregation manually, we tend to do an error, we do a mistake. Now again, as we said, delay in delivery project because of improper planning. So now again we have different set of say I'm making a hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So now say I'm making again a project. I'm handling a project of 4,000 component. Now I need to plan it properly. So
Yes.
when I say planning, what is this planning? So now again we have manufacturing components or the purchase component which have the manufacturing component has its own manufacturing lead time, right?
Yes.
So a component in a machine can take say 10 days to get manufactured. Another part can take 5 days to manufacture. Another component it could take 20 days or 30 days, right? So now I need to prioritize the item taking longer time first, right? So then only we have the exact timeline. We have a project, we have a delivery date. Now we have a production timeline, we have the purchase lead time, right?
Yes.
So everything has to be taken care. So now for
Yes.
that, so we need to set up priorities. So we need to set, these are the high priority items, these are the low priority, these are the medium priority. So based on that, if it will work, the project will not get delayed, right? So
Okay.
this is what happened. This is a normal scenario what I'm talking in industry, the problems what we see.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Yes. Next is the tracking. So now design tracking of drawings. Design is making drawings and they are releasing it continuously. But now whom did they release? How many times did they release? Nobody has a track, right? So now people complain, the production comes back, they haven't received the drawing, or they do not have the drawings, or they missed the drawing, and they say they never received it. So there's no track of anything. So purchase comes back. So this we have not released drawing to for this vendor. We gave it for other vendor. So there's always a confusion. Who the drawing has? So there's no proper track. Sometimes people try to maintain it Excels. Sometimes people make some register for entry, but nobody follows it. Very, what do you say? Very honestly, nobody follows that Excel or register. So at some point of time, that we miss the track, and we keep on releasing the drawings, right?
Yeah.
Another big major problem, actualized costing. So now I have a machine, right? I have a complete the costing department or the purchase department. What is the actual cost this machine has cost to me, right? Again, we do have something for costing in SolidWorks, but that costing only covers the operation part.
Yeah.
Operation part, we do not get the actualized cost. When we talk of the machine, it's the material, it's the labor, it's engineering, it's packing, transportation. So there are major components of costing which we actually eventually miss during the costing, and which actually creates the contingency. So now when I'm trying to calculate the profit on this project or the machine, I will never have a right value, right? And this basically again affects the profit and loss of the complete organization.
Yes. Yes.
And now when I'm handling, say I'm handling orders of multiple machines, I have order for 10 machines. I need to now so So now when I what quantity, what item has to be put. So now what design team does is they release the drawing, simply release the drawing for all the 10 machines. Now production takes the drawing. Now production has to make sure he manufactures it rightly, the quantity, purchase item, whatever. So these has to be managed accurately to get, so that there is no mistake, there is no overlap. So now by mistake I have it, there are 10 machines A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Say there are machines. So now I do not, I have to make sure I do not replace the D's part in my A or A's part in my D, right? So so sometimes what happens is, with the confusion, if the bomb is wrong or the drawings are not matched correctly, so things get a problematic scenario for complete organization. So considering these all issues, we developed a solution called Bomb Creator. Okay. So till here, anyone has any questions or any queries, anything? Anyone want to ask me any question till here? Hello?
Yeah.
So any questions, any queries till here?
No.
It's clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now this is the reason we came up with a solution called Bomb Creator. Okay. So now with Bomb Creator, what we say is we are giving you a ready to upload ERP bomb, which is not right now available in your EPDM or SolidWorks. You have to modify it. Please understand, you have to modify them. Even if you extract the form, you have to modify it and then make it compatible and upload in your system. So what we are saying is, the customer gives his template of ERP or SAP system. We give you a output right from your CAD system without integrating, and it works with SolidWorks Standard, Professional, Premium, any CAD package. So you can just click and create your ready to upload ERP bomb directly from your SolidWorks CAD. Next is the design bomb. Design bomb, what we are saying is, it's a enhanced version of your SolidWorks intended bomb. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me show you. I'll now show you the results. Right. The bombs. Say I'll show you the machine and the results.
Yeah.
Wait. So say this is a machine, right?
Yeah.
We are working. This is a machine we are working.
Yes.
So there are two options we can do it. We can get you an icon inside your SolidWorks itself, right? And you can start generating bombs out of here directly, or you generate things out of your interface which is present outside. Okay, so you can do it either ways.
Okay.
Yeah. So give me 2 minutes. The file it's getting open. This is this is what we downloaded from somewhere. This is a label printing machine. Okay, a kind of SPM, which we actually made it for a demonstration purpose for one of our customer. Just 2 minutes. So yeah, and while we create bombs, we have also added this option of images in our bomb, which are normally which has come with the SolidWorks 2019 version, wherein you get images, right, with your bill of material, thumbnails. So that kind of images also can be created. So here it is. So this is the machine. So here is the icon. You can just, if I click on this, so it takes a little time, and then it will just give me the details of the. Can you see my screen? Right. So this is the way it actually populates the bombs. So if you want images, you can get the images. If you don't want images, you can get the bomb without images also. Okay. You guys are able to see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a bomb with images.
Yes.
Okay. And say this is a bomb without images, right? So this is the same way with what we have created, right?
Okay.
Again, so this is the first level of the main assembly.
Yeah.
Okay. If I go back to SolidWorks, if I go back, so this is, you can see this is a top level, right? This is a top level item.
Vignesh, I have a concern.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Can you
Please.
open the sheet assembly, main assembly, bill of material?
Which one? The new one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't the other one which you showed. It was indented.
Yeah. This one.
Yes. In this, here we have the sub-assembly, and according to that sub-assembly, indented bill of material is appearing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can we get this into a separate sheet itself?
Separate sheet as in? Oh, so how do you want it?
Now let's not say we are taking it into a separate sub-assembly heading and getting the part numbers and every detail of that here. Let's put it in an indented format. The sub-assembly, whatever you have maintained here, that should come up to a separate sheet. That can be done, right?
That's a part of a basic customization. That can be changed. How you want to do it. That can be, the formatting can be done.
Yes. Yeah. In the same way, if we want, we can get the part list and the assembly line list.
Yes. The bottom. So now the interesting thing, what you do not get in EPDM or SolidWorks BOM is the composition.
Yeah.
Right. So this you do not get it. So if you want to do this, it itself is a big task, right? If I want to get the weight of the total consumption, total material, what material I'm using, and how much weight is it in. So this itself a big task, is a big task.
Okay.
Okay. So this you get with all your design related ones. If I'm creating a part list, I will get this same list. Say I'm creating a segregated part list, right? So this is my segregated part list, which is for production purpose, right? So this has its own composition. So in every this thing, it will have the composition, complete material composition, total material, and what is the weight.
And you have this database?
Come again?
You have the database of this?
Database as in? For database for?
But database of the material, like if you know the unit weight, how will you come to know about the unit weight? Are you getting this from a part level property?
Part level weight property, right? So we have it, but if it's available inside the part, it's a unit weight of the component, right?
Okay.
And the material, what you applied in the SolidWorks, right? You apply material, you get weight, right? Based on your SolidWorks material.
Yes.
And based on number of times it is repeating, based on the quantity, the total weight is calculated.
Yes, perfectly.
You know, and I'm basically creating a summary. The material, what all material I'm using in the complete machine, I'm getting the summary of that. Basically, I'm giving you this summary.
Yes.
So this is the material and this is the weight. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So similar, this is the there's a bought out list, only details of hardware.
Yeah.
Right. So there's nothing else, and the bought out doesn't include, the bought out is not purchased in terms of weight. Okay. So there are no weight details in this.
Okay.
So we have been talking about this priority list, right? So now I'm making a machine again. I need to prioritize. So this is my high priority. So this list can go along with my main bill of material or my drawings. So I'm giving my set of drawings and telling the production team this is my high priority, this is my medium priority, and this is my low priority.
Okay.
So now production can eventually plan this thing. Right? This has to be taken first. This has to be taken next, and this has to be taken at the last. Right?
Yes. Yes.
So again, when I'm saying is this thing seems to be very simple and very small, but it actually affects your complete cycle from zero date. When you have a timeline, when you have timeline bound projects, so you have to be very serious about your these times, right?
Yes.
We intentionally, unintentionally lose a lot of time without planning.
Yes. Yes.
Right? We see, although any established industry, they miss something and the complete thing gets affected till the end.
Yes.
Right. And we eventually get to know at the end. We don't give them. We will never get to know in between somewhere that we did a mistake.
Yes.
So similar, what we are calling is the high priority bought out list.
Yeah.
Okay. So this list can be shared with the purchase team. So this is the item which has to be procured. This is high priority, medium priority, low priority, right? You set the priority, you share it with the purchase team. They have to arrange it based on the priority.
Yeah. But the priority has to be again given by the design team itself.
Yes, design team. Okay. The fabrication cost, right? What we have been talking again. Yeah. So now this is again we are getting the composition of the machine, right? Outer material, right? So now the user needs to fill in the per kg cost. Per kg cost. When I say per kg cost, this includes the labor cost, material cost, painting, surface treatment, pickling, passivation, etc. So whatever the manufacturing standard calls it, right? And so now when I say 130 rupees for plain carbon steel, this includes the material cost, labor cost, painting cost, everything. Okay. So now based on this, I get the finished weight cost of the machine.
Okay.
Right. So if required, I can put this engineering cost also, add engineering cost to that also. If it is costing me, right, design engineering, if any structural engineering, if any CFD calculation, if any, it's how much does it cost me per hour?
Yeah.
Right. And based on that, I can calculate my cost, right? So this is again my cost, right? Overall cost. If I'm calculating the budget of machine, so what is the cost? It is going to cost me to industry. So now we are in process of adding the packing and transportation cost also.
Yes.
So in terms of packing, so basically the major factors are fabrication, engineering, packing, and transportation. These are the four major factors, right? Which covers the major cost of our thing.
Yes.
So we are in process of incorporating the transportation as well as the packing cost also. So now for packing we do not know what the user wants to decide. So what we are what we are giving a provision is like the user will key in the box size, right? Box size, what size of the particles and what components he's putting in, and what is the per CFT cost, right? What is the cost per cubic feet for it, right? Packing cost. And that cost can be consolidated there, and you can add that cost to your machine cost. And last your transportation cost, the vehicle, the type of vehicle you're transporting it, how many vehicles you're using, if you're exporting in, what all containers are being used, is it a 40 feet container, 20 feet container, or is it a 35 feet truck, open load, OSD vehicle, whatever type of vehicle, right? So we'll be giving those options to the customer wherein he can pick and add there, and he can add the cost of each vehicle. So we'll get the complete cost of the complete machine. So finished weight.
Okay.
Right.
So here one question, Nesh. How are you giving us the database with your application? So whether you have the database or you are giving an option that user only have to create their own set of database for this.
Look, material or weight will be from the SolidWorks material, right?
No, I'm talking about the cost. Like might be a fabrication cost or the weight.
This will be industry cost. Okay. This will vary industry to industry. This cannot be fixed, right? So this cost I have put based on my experience, my manufacturing field experience. I've been working in a company where I've been doing this costing part. I've been associated with a company called Camfil Air Filtration. So we used to make these air filter systems for gas turbines. Okay. So I used to do the complete costing. I used to make the complete layout. I used to get the costing. Right. So I used that experience how we did the costing part. So that costing part I incorporated based on that. So this cost will vary industry to industry. Right.
Okay.
So everyone will have his own cost to the company. Okay. Every material, how much, so it depends on the fabricator or what or from where the material is being procured, everything. Okay. So now this cost is done from there, and again this engineering cost will also come based on their industry setup, industry terms.
I'm worried about the final total material cost, raw material cost.
This one?
Raw material, not this one. This includes your cost of fabrication and it also includes the weight. Based on the weight, you're considering the cost per kg, and then you're giving up this cost, right?
Yes.
So here there is no raw material cost involved. So this is a total material cost. What about the raw material?
Yes, I'll tell you. Okay. So now look, we have a provision to get the cost from the SolidWorks, which is the finished weight, right? Okay. So now if you want the raw material weight, right? So in one case in Ajmer, what we did, they were demanding the same way. They wanted the raw material weight.
Yes.
Okay. So they said, I want the raw material weight. I don't know. Finished weight is there. Okay. We put both weights. We put finished weight as well as the raw material weight. Okay. In that case, so for the person who is doing it, will need to pick the stock size what he's using. Okay. So the user will need to define the stock size and what are the item he's using. So based on that, based on the density, we'll calculate the actualized this raw material weight. Okay. And that raw material weight can be used again with this cost to get the total cost, raw material cost if you want. So what I mean is we can do a provision here wherein the user picks up is the stock, what is the required stock for this material, and based on that stock size, we will calculate the raw material cost, raw material weight, and the raw material weight will lead us to the raw material cost of the machine.
Okay.
Right? Hope I'm clear.
Yeah.
So this is the way we are trying to take care. So if the user wants the finished weight, we can give you the finished weight cost. Or if you want the raw material cost, we can also have a provision wherein we can add the raw material cost. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Next, what we are talking about was the comparison. Again, when we are talking, say I have an order for 10 machines, right? So now how do I manufacture the production? So there's always a confusion. What is the quantity? What is not the quantity? Everything. So now what we are doing is we are giving you a provision to compare the main assemblies, and it will give you the details of common and the unique items. Okay. So now when I say comparing, I'll say compare two machines. So it will give me the common. These are the common items. The quantity available to be fit in is in machine 1 is 2, total quantity machine 1 total quantity. Right. So this comparison I can do. We are trying to make it. We initially made it for 5 machines. Now we are trying to make it for 10 machines at a time. So you can compare those 10 machines and you will get the complete detail. Machine 1, machine 2, machine 3, machine 4. So you get the total quantity of each part number. Okay. So the advantage what you are getting is you get to know total quantity. So now production will know this part number has to be manufactured for 40 pieces. Okay. And while at the time of assembly, he can look at this list and he can just fit in things based on the quantity on each machine.
Okay. But how do you opt machine 1 and machine 2?
So look, we can do it with reference to the names of the file and as well as the part numbers. Right now we are doing with the part numbers. We are comparing two part numbers. If they are same, so we are putting it in the category of common. If the two part number do not match, right? We are comparing to the n level. 0 to n level. We are checking from 0 to n level if this part number is available. Okay. And then we come first. What we are doing is first basically we are putting up the list of the first machine, complete machine. Okay. And then we compare the machine 2 with that machine 3, machine 4, machine 5. Okay. So now if there is any common item, so that adds the quantity, and if there's a unique item, it just goes adding under the unique item here. So it will go below.
Okay.
So till here, any questions, any queries?
No.
We are good. Last time there was an issue of connectivity, so that is the reason I came in again. Okay, so this time are we able to connect it, the issues and this thing?
Yes.
Yeah, we are able to connect, right?
Yeah.
So what are the scenarios? Basically, we are just trying to understand what are the what things which were not possible in our SolidWorks or Ethereum. We try to identify those, and we have just tried to put in there. We have just cover those gaps.
Okay.
Through our software.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess the one thing I left is the tracking thing, I guess, right?
Yeah.
The tracking thing is this one. What you're talking is if I want to identify the drawing which has been issued to vendor, right? So now again, this is again metadata information. So to whom we are being issuing this drawing, what date, and what is the number of count the drawing has been issued. Okay. So this is again we are keeping it as a metadata information, right? We for one customer we did it with EPDM with the help of EPDM. Okay, so we used EPDM in the background to run the number of counts and the issued details. So basically, whom the person being issued, the issue date and the remark was automatically being covered through the EPDM's functionality, right? So date everything that was automatically getting saved up. So there we were generating list out of form creator. So to help the organization keep a track of complete setup. Yeah. So I'm actually basically done with my presentation part. So if you have anything, because I tried to cover all the functionalities again with reference to the problems. Okay.
I hope that's clear. But once again, if you could just show us the interface of your application.
Yes, definitely, sir. This is the interface. Okay. So this is a BOM, ERP, design, part list, bot out list, and this can be added more sheet metal, machined parts, whatever types you want to add, you can create it again. Okay. So this can be again everything is a customizable thing right now. If it is concerned to your say customer says I do not want the priority thing, I want the more list to be added here, we can do that. Okay. Right. So based on the requirement, we can do that. We can cover those things. Okay. So types you want to increase. Say you want to sheet metal, you want to category of sheet metal, you want to get a category of say outsource item, or you want to get a category of machine components. So different types we can add here. Okay. Next is the priority, high, medium, low, part list. Part out is high, medium, low, right?
Okay.
Issue details, production, purchase, quality, none. So now again, if there's a any change in the internal department, that can also be incorporated here, right? So we understood that there are three major departments whom the designs share the drawings normally. So we have kept only these three departments. So if someone wants to know there's another department, planning is a separate department, or say they want the costing department or any department they want to keep a track, we can add that also here. Okay. And this issue to none is basically to identify. So now again, so now I release drawings to different people, right? So as a designer, what we do is like we release drawings step by step. Okay. I would say when I'm handling, again, we talk about 4,000 component. I won't release all the 4,000 drawings put together, right? I'll release step by step. I'll release say 500 drawings in 1 week. Then I'll release the 250 drawings next week. So step by step. So now, if I want to identify what are drawings I've given, what I've not given, so I can just quickly go and check what are the drawings which are not issued yet. So it will give me the list of details which I have not issued yet. So I can release only those drawings.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Next is fabrication phase, what we saw in-house, outsource, right? The fabrication cost, which we discussed. Last is the comparison. Yeah.
That's it.
Any questions, any query, any suggestions?
As of now, it is clear. There could be some suggestions. I'll write it to you over a mail.
Sure, please do that. Please do that. Anyone, please, if you have any suggestion, any concerns, or anything you feel that this could be improved, please write to me so that we can improve that and we can address that issue also. Okay.
That's it from our side.
And again, if you want a clarity on product metrics also, let me give me a second. I'll just show you the quickly product metrics also.
Right.
So last time also we saw that, but again, so there are 3 product modules: Bomb Creator Lite, Bomb Creator Advanced, Bomb Creator Premium. Okay. So now the complete design bomb, ERP bomb, partless, segregated partless, the types what we've discussed, right?
Okay.
And the priority, water and partless is covered under Lite. Okay.
Okay.
Advanced will cover these. Apart from that, it will have the issue details, fabrication details, and the costing part.
Okay.
The premium will have all the features of Lite and Advanced and the comparison.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and these are not perpetual license. These are term licenses required to be renewed every year.
Okay.
Right. So every year the organization will require to renew it. Okay.
And you don't have any plugins for PDM, right?
Right now, we have not worked on PDM yet. PDM we have not started yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So we actually we focused it more on this to complete it, make it fully feasible. Then we thought once this is perfectly done, we can go to the next part. So that was the reason.
Okay. Approximate cost of Lite, Advanced, and Premium?
Look, so the transfer price to the reseller for Bomb Creator Lite, it's 50,000. For Bomb Creator Advanced, it's 60,000. Bomb Creator Premium, it's 80,000. This is the transfer price to reseller.
And because we have some sales team members as well in this.
Yes, and the end quote price what we are suggesting to the customer is this.
Okay.
Quote price what we are talking is this. So you the first quote price everywhere what we are quoting pan India is for Lite we are quoting 1.1 to the customer. Okay. This is considering your margin, the reseller margin here. Okay. And the advanced is 1.25 and the premium is 1.5.
Okay.
And again, right now the licenses are standalone type, locked to the MAC address of one machine. Any machine wherein they'll install. We are in the process of developing it an SNL one. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So SNL is still in process. Right now, this is a standalone application. So every individual SolidWorks installation will require an individual license. Okay. So this is again an important point which I wanted to tell you. So SNL is still in work in process. WIP. Okay. Yeah. So SNL once done, I'll definitely inform you people. So right now it's a standalone application.
Okay.
And again, licenses are term license and required to be renewed annually. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what else? Anything else from the other sales team or the technical team? Anyone? Oh. Mr. Mahindra had been waiting. Oh, sorry. Anyone? Any queries? Okay then. Thank you very much for your time. Yeah, thank you very much for your time. Any queries, any suggestions, please write to me directly, or you can route it through Nagesh, or you can route it through Naveen.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can write your suggestions and everything. Any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me whenever. Okay.
Sure.
I hope everyone has my contact details. You can contact me. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for the time.